Yeah, it is.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
So after our rough night, we packed up and headed deeper into New Mexico, with hopes we could find a slightly lower elevation camp tonight. With the beautiful scenery and some good music, we're enjoying this drive.
Beautiful.
When we finally hit dirt, we decided it was a good time to take a break and eat some lunch.
I gladly know what's wrong with you. You don't need the knife. Leave that thing away from me. It's your mess making machine. Look, you just flung it everywhere. All the smells in the truck.
Man, it is so pretty out here. I was just saying, I wish this is the one time that I wish we had like a 360 camera so that you could watch the video and just take in all the views like we can, because it is just beautiful all around.
We ended up driving most of the day due to a slight navigation error on my part, but even though I took us the long way around, it sure was pretty, and we always seem to enjoy the slower pace that good old Tonto forces on us. And eventually, we landed here for the night.
This is our super cool old tool roll. It's got 0 of the contents listed here. And currently it's got a $5, it's like $5.85 set of wrenches, metric wrenches from size 8 to size like 27. $5. You know they're horrible. That was a Target special. And so we have good wrenches, of course, but for this trip, I just wanted to get something in here instead of digging out the big tool case. And then a repop of the old 2F manual in case I had any serious issues. An extra belt, another extra belt in back. But yeah, so he was kind of sputtering a little bit. What happens when we first got him was just junk from the tanks or the lines or somewhere would get into the carburetor, and it's got such tiny crevices and tiny ports for air and fuel to go through that it would get clogged up. So we've solved all that. We pulled the tanks, we cleaned them, did all that sort of stuff that you would do. Now there's just occasionally a little something from somewhere. So we've done like, I don't even know, over 600 miles on this trip just so far. We're on day 2. That I figured I'd go ahead and clean everything out, put a new fuel filter in here and a new fuel filter back by the auxiliary tank, since that was the real nasty one. And even though we cleaned them, there's little bits here and there that find their way from a crevice somewhere inside that tank. So yeah, that's all I'm doing, just cleaning it out with some carb cleaner. Pulled off all the little fuel ports there, and we'll just make sure we clean them. So it's kind of like the redneck carb rebuild. I don't know if you've heard that terminology, but yeah, I'm not smart enough to do the real carb rebuild out in the field. So we'll just spray some carb cleaner in all the orifices. Hope that works.
Here's dinner tonight. Simple beans, some baked beans, and some sausage, and we had a quick bacon appetizer before we ate.
That was a good appetizer. I don't know, I don't think you can go wrong with bacon appetizers all the time, everywhere. Go, little drone, go!
We're all tucked into bed, and it's a lot warmer than last night, so hopefully we'll sleep good.
Yeah, it sounds horrible, but
It is really horrible, but also huge. Anyways, we're gonna read a book, I think, and fall asleep.
Oh, so tired.
Good night.
Driving a truck without power steering. It's actually not that bad. But
It was a long day of driving, though.
well, that was
in
2
general.
long days. So we had
Yeah, no
almost
sleep
10.
last
I
night.
won't count full 10 driving. I think 9 though yesterday, full 9
Yeah.
of moving. And then today we probably had a 8-hour day, which we didn't really plan for it to be that long, but you know, it's really pretty sightseeing and we don't really have any planned stops. And so we kind of wanted to be able to ride and visit Albuquerque tomorrow and some of the cool spots I remember from living there. So we pushed it more than we needed to, and now we're ruined.
So hopefully it's a good night of sleep. Good night.
Day 3.
Good morning. We just broke camp, and it's kind of a overcast, cloudy, blustery, chilly day. We both slept good last night, which was amazing. It's a little bit warmer, so it was easier to sleep, and not too bad wind last night, so that was good. And then not sure what we're gonna do today. We might ride bikes, see what we find, maybe make it to Albuquerque, but really have no idea. So we shall see what we find.
Your train moving along.
Excited for lunch?
Yeah.
Lunchtime. We got hummus with some carrots and celery for lunch today. Taking a little break, pulling off the side of the road. Have some lunch. Alright, we're on our little back roads into Albuquerque, and it looks quite dark ahead. Like we might hit just a bit of rain.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's this high desert, and like right now, you look around and your brain tells you desert, but we're higher than Denver, Colorado. So, and it is a wall of water on all sides. But because there's no big mountains, I mean, there are off in the distance, you can see so far. No houses, no nothing. It's pretty cool.
Just beautiful.
So the windshield wiper, poor Tonto, he hadn't seen rain in such a long time. So after we sort of rescued him out of the desert, we were driving in Scottsdale and it started pouring rain. I pulled on the wiper motor. Sure enough, it worked. It worked for probably 50 wipes.
Yeah.
I think we got out of them. And then there was a little smoke from the wiper motor, and so it shorted out, and we just went ahead and turned it off. So I haven't ever dug into it to even see what the issue is, but I think we'll be buying like Rain-X or something like that in Albuquerque.
Squeegee.
Yeah, but it's snowing pretty good now. Ready to make camp?
Yeah, I'm super excited for colder weather. It is currently snowing. Not just
Crazy.
rain. It's snowing.
Snowing in, what is it, mid-April. Nuts.
Didn't expect to see any snow.
Thought maybe we'd see some up on a peak.
Yeah, yeah, not
Driving
being
it.
it.
We got the Tonto's little heater on. He's keeping us warm.
Yep.
We're thinking about all the different articles of clothing we wish we would have brought. We got some warm stuff, but not at the level I think that we didn't plan for this, but that's what makes it an adventure. I just like it. Like every road we've taken is a road I've never been on. We had the option to take some roads that I know have cool stuff and cool campsites, and we almost took that because it was familiar and it sounded like a good idea, and then we, right at the beginning of the trip, turned and went, nah,
Yeah.
let's just go on a new road, and we just continued taking, I don't think a single road I've been on.
No.
The I-10 out of Tucson, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
We made it to an area where we thought we could find a place to camp, and proceeded to have a look around and let our little buddy have some fun in the snow before we settled in for the night.
Smelling pretty good now.
Yeah, it is. Didn't expect snow in mid-April, but I kind of love it. I mean, we got to find a good spot to camp, and we got to make sure we stay warm. But other than that, I kind of love it.
All right, we just got off the mountain. We didn't find anything because there wasn't anywhere to camp really. It was getting muddy and pretty nasty up there. So we came down and we're almost to a gas station, but Tonto's
I think he's just got crap in his
misfiring a little
carburetor,
bit.
so you could hear it maybe, I don't know, but it's like just random misfires. Not really sensical, it just kind of like randomly fires wrong, and so I'm worried.
All right, we made it to a camp spot finally. Tonto's still not quite running right, but we don't have the correct tools to do much more about it. So Tim cleaned out the carb,
Yeah,
and that's about.
it didn't really do too much.
Yeah,
So
it didn't seem to do anything.
what I think is that he's been running rich. I think probably always, but so trying to lean it out and then trying to run at higher RPM. So instead of lugging them, and I know that these trucks, they do so good when you lug them, straight six, even Goose does well. But sort of the Toyota gods that I've met over the years and talked to, and the guy who worked on Tonto actually, Bill Lee, kind of said they like to be revved actually. They're a straight six, they're very balanced, don't be scared to rev them high. So, you know, we, on the drive here, kept the revs very high. As soon as this started happening and I cleaned the carb and that didn't make any difference, I just kept the revs high. If I had a spark plug wrench, stupid, I think I could pull one of the plugs or all the plugs and just take a look at them, and I bet one would be a little fouled out. So I think what we'll do is we can head into Albuquerque tomorrow, whether we leave our tent here or break down,
Yeah.
and we'll hopefully go for a mountain bike ride if it's not snowing, and then go in there, get a plug wrench, and then just buy, you know, might as well buy 6 new plugs. They're so cheap. Just buy some generic plugs, and if any of them are fouled, we just replace it, see if that takes care of it. If so, we know it needs to run leaner, and I need to not lug it so much so it doesn't foul up. But he's still running, he still gets us everywhere. It's sort of typical for him, like, you know, out of the middle of the desert or whatever. After sitting for years, he got us home, and it's not always in perfect running condition, but it will always get us wherever.
So the snow has stopped for now, and the sun has sort of come through the clouds. We have a fire, which is amazing. It feels so nice to have a fire. Tent, Tonto, and we got some soup on the stove. So life is pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby, I gotta say, considering for a bit there it looked a little dreary as it was pouring snow, well, pouring, whatever, snowing snow, and we just could not find a legal place. I mean, it's like we're right near Albuquerque, you know, maybe 30 minutes at the most, or 20, and so it's like any bigger town. As soon as you go to the areas around it and just hope to remote camp, rightfully so, they've got it pretty locked down with no vehicle signs all over the place, no camping, because there's just too many people and the impact is too great. But this area is a dispersed camping area, and the only thing the sign said is make sure you try and have the fire in the fire ring, even though it's pretty filled up, so we're not really in it. But yeah, just stoked to have another free night of camping, and I don't know, just feels good to have found like a little home, I guess.
So started snowing again. We had a good couple of hours sitting around the fire and just like enjoying being warm. It's been so nice. But I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting to snow again. So I just crawled into the tent because I don't want to get wet before I go to bed. So I'd like to stay warm and dry. So I think we're going to call it a night and probably read a book or, just hang out in the tent until we were ready to go to bed. But it was a long day. It was a good day. We've had snow. Unexpected. Hopefully tomorrow we can figure out what's going on with Tonto and get him running better and explore and enjoy the town of Albuquerque. Maybe ride some bikes depending on what the weather's doing. So yeah, good night, and we'll see you in the morning.
Thanks for watching, and come along next time as we get even more snow, dig into Tonto, and check out Albuquerque. We're testing out our night vision.
I see dead people.
No, he doesn't.
How much?
Now we'll never know because we can't actually see.
Well, we can replay it and see. But
No, you can't. It's impossible. Oh, it's not a night vision.
man, my eyes look black and evil, doesn't it? Look at that.
I see dead people.
That's what's doing it.